All right, welcome back to Restaurantopia. We're here with the two-thirds of the normal crew. Brian Seitz, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I'm Dave Ross, and we have another special guest here, Chef Alvaro Lima with Unilever Food Solutions. He's going to be discussing today why using quality ingredients will help your operations long term. Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restaurantopia.
No, hey, Chef, thank you so much. Second time on the episode. You're officially Restaurantopia superstar now. You got 2 episodes under your belt.
That's awesome. This is great. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I appreciate the welcome back.
Yeah, so give us real quickly like your little bit of your background, and then we can get right into the topic here.
Yeah, so I've been the corporate chef for Unilever Food Solutions for 7.5 years now. It's a really cool job. It's something that I dreamt of doing now for the last 20 years, and excited to be here. I get to show really cool recipes and menu ideas to different operators, and my day-to-day is I get to hop on a plane and be in a new restaurant, new city, just about every week. So it's fun. Lucky to be home today, though.
Yeah. No, awesome. Tell us a little bit, just maybe for the listeners that aren't familiar, because Unilever is a big umbrella. Like, give us a couple of the big brand names that people should recognize. Especially on the kitchen end. Obviously there's a lot of retail brands as well, but
Right. So we actually own Hellmann's mayonnaise, which is I may be biased, but it's the best mayonnaise out in the market. We also own Knorr, which a lot of our European colleagues call it Knorr, Knorr. We own Legoo, which is a very old brand, but really well known in the food service industry.
Which a lot of white bald distribution people called leg out.
Leg out, yeah. And then we own the Sir K line, Sir Kensington's, which is, if you haven't heard of it, they're very clean label, no EDTA free. They're EDTA free. They're, vegan, keto friendly, all that kind of cool stuff. So those are just some of the brands that we own here on the food service side. I'd be fired from my job if I didn't mention my mustard. So my Dijon, my whole grain. Also a very well-known brand, and it actually won an award just this past year for best Dijon mustard. So pretty heavy hidden brands there.
Chef, I was excited about this topic because I think it's so relevant now with the pandemic and inflationary pressures that are hitting everyone, that I've seen operators kind of do a race to the bottom and try to use cheaper ingredients in an effort to save costs, and it really makes the culinary experience suffer. Are you seeing that, and can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see it everywhere. It's kind of crazy, and it's one of those things where I feel like it's our job to go in and talk and share and inspire on different things that they could be doing. I think for instance, I love talking about mayonnaise. We own Hellmann's mayonnaise, and just the processes to make Hellmann's mayonnaise is so crucial. It goes through a multiple filtration step on the oil. We actually use 100% cage-free eggs. And here's a fun fact: Unilever is actually the only manufacturer to own a 100% cage-free license. So that means that every egg in these mayonnaise jugs are actually cage-free, as opposed to a lot of our competition, which may make the claim, but technically you can have one egg to make that claim. So we take pride in the fact that they're 100%. But going back to your question there, basically what's happening is you're buying cheaper ingredients, not realizing that you're utilizing more. So for instance, making a coleslaw, right? You may think, oh, if I just use this mayonnaise, I could make my coleslaw and it's going to be good for the next 3 days, right? Well, the reality is all the water, all the high fructose corn syrup in that mayonnaise is causing even more weepage, right? Something like cabbage that contains a lot of water is gonna create a pool of weepage, as where if you're using a more quality ingredient, your chances are you're using a little bit less of it, right? So we like to share this with some of our customers when they're working on bound salads, for instance, right? Yes, you could get the same end result for the day, but you got to think about what you're preparing for. Are you just preparing for the day, or are you preparing for the next 2 days? And do you even have time to prepare, that following day? So, going in and talking about those kind of things. And then, I like to always bring up garnishes, right? Everybody wants to use microgreens. Everybody wants to use all these fancy garnishes, and those cost a lot of money, you know. But look in the back of the house. Maybe you have radishes. Maybe you have arugula. Maybe you have herbs, that are about to go. Is it something that you could toss quickly in a little bit of oil? Is it something that you could hit with a little bit of salt, pepper, and use as a garnish on a Benedict? Maybe use as a garnish on, a taco or something like that. I think those are things that we do really well at going in and talking to restaurateurs and helping advise them as to what they could be doing, and still having a quality plate, for your customer, utilizing everything that's in the back of the house that's fresh already anyway. So,
and it's really an education process. Like in my experience of being, a sales rep and out there working with customers, in my previous, life, we, I don't think we've ever gone through a situation, the hyperinflation we've gone through over the past year and a half, and operators are just, they were resistant to change their menu price, and then, they had to change the menu price. They were forced to, and that's something that we've talked, for years. It's like, hey, you should raise your prices. You should raise your prices. And now we're like, okay, you're going to need to raise your prices, or you're going out of business.
Yeah.
So the ability to go back and select cheaper versions has created something. I think Anthony coined it as, we called it shadow inflation. So what shadow inflation is that as inflation happens, when you start dumbing down your ingredients or cheapening the ingredients, and you actually end up losing sales and customers and those things, like that's the real ramifications of those types of decisions. So walk us through, like, obviously you're traveling, you're in kitchens, you're seeing these things firsthand. Like, walk us through a couple success stories or some things that you've experienced with maybe getting somebody on a better quality ingredient, and then how it affected the business and those types of things.
Yeah, no. So actually, just recently we were in at a big commissary that does this type of work. They do dips, they do bakes, they do bound salads, and they were using, a much cheaper product, but the prices, like you said, are going up. So he's kind of at the point where he's like, wait a minute, I'm getting close to paying a price. I'm paying a premium on a much, lower product here. Why couldn't I speak to somebody at Hellman's, or why couldn't we, look this over and see, because if it's between a few dollars per pound or even a few cents per pound, my ears are open, and being able to go in there and show them, and then, they're now selling this as, here's a premium salad because of what it's made with, right? So that those things help. Even with our hollandaise sauce, something that, I know a lot of restaurateurs like to do from scratch. And who doesn't love a scratch made hollandaise? But the reality is, in a restaurant, you don't have the time, or maybe the skill set to make a hollandaise from scratch, right? So being able to go in and show them a product that you mix in water, you mix with butter, and then still have a nice luscious hollandaise sauce is amazing, and you're using quality ingredients, that it's coming from a company that is utilizing responsibly sourced ingredients, is sustainable, recyclable packaging, all the above. And then you're adding real butter into the product to mix it is huge.
I think one of the kind of wake up calls that the industry has had is with the labor shortage, you have to look at great quality products out there in the market that can be labor savers. And, like your example with the hollandaise sauce, but I've seen so many that, the days of the scratch kitchen are definitely different today than they were 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And one's ability to make something from scratch, it's not more difficult. It's impossible in some cases because of the labor. So when someone's able to talk to their food service rep and say, all right, this is my menu, here's some items that I'm making from scratch, there's X amount of labor hours here. What products do you have from, Unilever, other Hillcrest products that can really save that operator and that chef time in their operation? So I think that, to me, that is a real game changer. But the industry does have to wake up to that fact that it's not like we did things 5 years ago, and you can't make everything from scratch. And as long as the culinary experience stays the same, it's much easier to use some of these products.
Well, and I think that's an easier transition to go from somebody who is a scratch kitchen, because somebody that's doing things from scratch typically has a different sense of quality, just because they're doing it from scratch. So they want their brand on it, they want their quality, they want their stuff. So to go from that and say, okay, they're going to bring in a quality ingredient, they're probably more apt to, I would say, in most cases, to bring in a more quality ingredient than somebody who's using cheap ingredients, let's say. And I don't want to disparage, because, listen, at the end of the day, they're ingredients, and the end result's the end result. If their customers enjoy the end result, that's all that matters at the end of the day. I think if there's an easy button, somebody that's already doing quality scratch food, maybe easier to convert to those quality ingredients. I mean, I guess I should ask you, what's your experience in that? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I've always said, and not always, but I've been saying for the last, 8-9 months, convenience is king right now, And so if that's the route you have to go, this speed scratch route, you might as well use the best products out there. We've got some country clubs that are reaching out to us for demi-glace, and they're like, look, we really want to use your demi-glace as a base. I want to be able to build the flavor that I was building before. I just don't have the time to make a demi-glace anymore, or teach somebody how to make it, or bones are getting expensive. I can't do it anymore. So could I use your demi as a base to build flavor from? And back to your point, some of these chefs understand, the quality and the technique, and being able to take something like a powdered mix that you can add wine and water to, and then start adding nice herbs and shallots and stuff like that to completely transform it, is going to help. They can still make a sexy plate with a beautiful demi-glace sauce on it, and it be consistent from here on out for their guests. So
at the end of the day, customers recognize and can tell quality ingredients, and I think that's important to the financial success of your business. So if you can reduce the amount of high fructose corn syrup in a dish, and you can reduce some of those types of items that really don't add but are fillers put in by the industry because it makes the product cheaper, I think that's something that, as a chef and as an operator, you really have to be cognitive of, and push away from those products and towards high quality products. Because think about this, if you're looking at a price per plate, it may only be a penny or two difference to get that higher quality. And the customer is always willing, I think, to pay for that better culinary experience. So if you got your menu priced correctly, like we've talked about, on 20 different episodes, as far as cost out your menu, I think this is an opportunity for you to say, all right, our menu is priced right. Are we using the best ingredients? And to really do a review with your sales rep and say, all right, I have these 3 products, look at the label and do a deep dive on that.
Yeah, and I think the difference between some of the things that Chef Lima represents as far as ingredients versus I'm going to sell you a pre-cooked salmon rather than ordering it fresh. This is a different thing. So like when you get into holidays and in the soup bases and in the demi-glace and Hellmann's mayonnaise and all those different things that are there, like you're right, Brian, the difference, when you're looking at the case price might seem huge, but when you get down to the item, you're drastically improving the quality for not that much more money.
Correct. Yeah, it's you guys get me. You guys know what you guys are food service people.
Imagine that.
I'm a fat kid at heart. I love to eat, and your body will tell you when you're eating junk ingredients, 2-3 hours later, like, when you had a great meal made with quality ingredients.
Obviously,
No, I think this is,
glad you brought up the high fructose corn syrup there, because Unilever does not use that. I mean, just about all of our products too, they've lowered the sodium level. They've just about lowered or gotten rid of the sugars in our products too. So we're really taking a big stand on being, not only the best, but truly the cleanest. You know, so.
Well, in a company of that size to make those kind of decisions, like that's a huge decision. You know what I mean? Like you're going to say, you know what, you're going to pay for our product because it's that good. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it,
Exactly.
Awesome.
And the cool thing is they get all of our resources too, right? So they get chefs like me and my colleagues to come in and help them with menu ideations, or if they need help with marketing, how do we get more people to walk through our doors on a day-to-day? We have a marketing team that might be able to help them. Here's an LTO that you might be able to launch that's going to help boost sales for 6 weeks. Stuff like that, we have all that as well.
Where could local independent restaurateurs find that type of resource?
You could go to ufs.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our site with recipes, with product knowledge, all sorts of stuff for our food solutions organization. But reach out to your local rep. Reach out to the Hillcrest team. They will get in touch with your Unilever rep, who happens to be Greg Moses. Phenomenal guy. He's been with us, I think, for 5 or 6 years now. Full of knowledge, and he prioritizes customers. And that's what I love about Greg, is that if you are in need of anything at all, he makes it happen right away. So
we'll have to have Greg on our episode.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea. What where can people find you? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Alvaro Lima, and I'm on Instagram at chef__Alvi. Find me, DM me, slide into those DMs if you need to. If you need some inspiration. You'll see a bunch of food pics, just about everything I cook. I cook with some of our products. A lot of the things that we do for ideations for customers are on my page. And then every now and then you may get some cute pictures of my kids. So
nice.
We'll put that in the show notes. Chef, appreciate you being on, sharing your knowledge, and I think you're really preaching the gospel here on quality ingredients. It's so important. It will increase your top line revenue. It'll make the customers more sticky and come back to your restaurant, and it will help you continue to be a success at your operation, because this is a game changer. As everyone races to the bottom, now is your opportunity to have a differentiator and really show the customer that you care about quality ingredients.
Awesome. Chef, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
This is a high quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restaurantopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restaurantopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you and have a great day.
We are excited to announce the Restaurantopia VIP Text Club. Join by texting the word podcast to 844-928-4257. You will get access to exclusive content, industry news, deals, announcements, pro tips, and more. The VIP Text Club is an exclusive community of independent restaurant owners and professionals. Join today. Message and data rates may apply. Please check our website for our terms of service and privacy policy.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Hillcrest Food Service. If you are a local independent restaurant and are looking for a distributor who has chef and operational consulting, provides marketing support, does menu reviews, and most importantly, wants you to be successful, reach out to Hillcrest Food Service at hillcrestfoods.com.